So I kept going, and then I started believing in myself, and I kept doing it, and then I started watching other videos online, how to fix your back videos. And one, I'm not going to lie to you, it was a bit homoerotic, and I didn't realize that.
Is it more homo or erotic?
It was.
That's the standard. Sorry, that's a hack. That's a hack.
It was.
It's a hack joke. I always have. Anytime someone says homoerotic, I'm required under Articles of Confederation Comedy 147, paragraph 2. I have to say, was it more homo or erotic?
Well, I'll tell you this. It took me 20 minutes to figure out it was homoerotic. Is this a bad idea? This is a bad idea. This is a bad idea. Sherrod has left the building. That's not the part that's a bad idea, Judd Jones. Vic is just babbling over there. That's why it's a bad idea, I'm thinking. I don't know. So Sherrod had to go and be famous somewhere. He's got a lot going on.
His agent called.
His agent called, and he ran out. And Vic's like, God damn it, let's continue. And I'm like, yeah, all right.
Sure. Well, we got drinks. Dick brought a fucking bar with him.
I'll tell you why this is a bad idea.
Thank you, Judd.
And you should know, Judd.
Yes.
He gets mean.
Oh, no, let's fuel the fire. Why not?
He gets
Not
mean.
all the time.
Not all the time.
Sometimes I'm sentimental.
Yeah, you get sentimental.
All right, I can be
Might get a little verbose at times, but
That's the worst part, yes.
Yeah,
all right, so
sure.
So
I'll be like Charlene Darling. Don't play that one, Paul. It makes me cry.
what makes you cry?
Me?
What makes Vic Henley cry?
Oh God, music totally every day.
Auburn winning.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Dick Cox.
No, it never gets that bad with Auburn winning.
No, well, hey, Auburn lost last night, and that doesn't make me cry. But anything musical, I swear to God, movie moments, musical moments, watching Ken Burns' country music thing
made you cry.
16 hours.
Yeah.
Because it's 8 2-hour episodes.
Yeah.
I cried like a baby.
Yep.
What part?
All of it.
All of it.
Because I know it resonates to me.
Okay.
First of all, I knew a lot of it.
Yeah.
And then the parts that I don't know fucking were amazing. And, Dolly Parton singing Mule Skinner.
Yep.
Okay.
Johnny, which is a Jimmy Rogers song from 19 fucking, what is it, Dick? 27
God.
or.
Yeah.
Okay.
And God damn it, she fucking murders it.
Yep.
It resonates because she hits every note.
Yep.
Right.
Hey, she hits every fucking note. It's amazing. Music makes me cry.
Yeah.
Every fucking time.
Can I?
Music and movies, a line and a song.
We touched on it a few episodes ago when we were talking about the Talking Heads, and one of my favorite songs.
Makes me cry.
One of my favorite songs of all time is This Must Be the Place by the Talking Heads off Speaking in Tongues. And wow. All right. Oh, woo. Okay.
Wait a minute.
No, I'm not going to cry.
Wait
but
a minute.
Cry?
So
Go ahead, cry.
with Carl's death, we had a lot to do. The friends of Carl, we all had a lot to do. It started here where we wandered in, and we knew this was the place to go after Carl died, and we did a podcast for fans and us.
Yes.
Fucking Vic shows up with like a 2-week beard. I mean, none of us.
Yeah.
No, you look like a
wasn't
mess.
good.
I was a mess. Sherrod was a mess, and all his friends.
I'm still
came.
not right.
No one's right. But we came here, last minute, and we felt like let's roast them a little bit because we did so many podcasts from here. And then from there, it was like one thing after another. There was a La Cubana memorial that we did. We podcasted from there, and then I went out to
Big Beach.
Pig Beach was finally the end. Then I went out to California because Guy Fieri.
I missed that one.
Guy Fieri invited me for a special version of Grocery Games, which is coming out very, very soon on the Food Network. And then I'm hanging out at Guy Fieri's house with all of Carl's TV/California friends. And I was flying back from California, and I just needed music.
Right.
You know when you just need music.
Always makes me feel good.
And I came upon This Must Be the Place by the Talking Heads. I'm on a plane flying back to my family after going through all this. And I'm bawling listening to this song in my headphones. No joke. I listened to the song over and over and over again, even in my Uber ride back to the city. I must have played it 10 times in a row. Tears, then happiness and joy, and then like I'm waiting for my luggage, and I'm dancing to the stupid song in front of everyone. I don't give a fuck. I'm celebrating life.
That's right.
It was all in that song.
Right.
And there was something about finally letting go of Carl at that moment. Like, I did what I had to do. We had to send him off nicely with some jokes and roasting and telling stories. And I felt like I finally did it, and I could finally like just breathe again.
Nice.
And it was that song that brought me happiness and to tears all at the same time.
Well, you said something the other day about landing at the airport because you remember that time about picking up everything, you know.
Oh, with Carl?
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite episodes I ever did. When he was coming in from Vegas and I surprised him.
Yeah, picked him up.
And he had to cancel his ride and he had to deal with me. It's pretty much, I mean, me and Vic have done amazing episodes and all that, but something about that. He was out in Vegas with Guy Fieri, partying his ass off, and there I am all chipper and wide awake because I get up early, and he just had a red eye, and he walks out off the plane, and there I am, and I just made it hurt.
Yeah.
But he went with it.
Grabbing him in the hallway on the first birthday party.
Huh?
Grabbing him in the hallway on the first birthday party at the Underground. That was also, if that was surprising, I'm not confused.
I saw that video.
Oh, with Guy Fieri and all
birthday. Yeah.
I didn't know I was being low. I'm sorry.
I saw that video. That
Usually
was
I'm not.
great.
You never have to tell
Well,
me.
for people that don't know, so we were throwing Carl a surprise. Not a surprise. He knew that he was having a birthday celebration.
We didn't know he didn't know Alex and
We all knew that.
Guy and everybody else.
Rocco
Right.
and Rocco.
What's the pastry guy? Bald-headed guy. He was there.
Duff.
Duff.
Yeah.
But at this
wonderful.
point,
Dude.
but at this point, just fill in the blank. We all knew he was getting a divorce and he was in a bad place.
Super ugly.
And what he didn't know was,
We were there to say, shove it up your fucking ass.
Yeah, we threw. I mean,
shove it up your black fucking butthole.
Sherrod put a nice show together.
Anyone knows who that reference is to.
And
if anyone has a black butthole that needs something shoved in it hard.
Right. And Guy Fieri texted me.
Rusty black butthole.
How black is it?
It's so black. Stephen Hawkins couldn't find a physics problem in it.
Oh, wow.
Pretty good ad-lib. Pretty good ad-lib.
I like it. And then Guy Fieri gets a hold of me and he's like, hey, where's this fucking celebration for Carl? He goes, I got some friends. I'm like, holy shit. So then we all found out that Guy Fieri, Alex Garnaschelli, Rocco DiSpirito, Duff.
McCabe.
Yep.
I think maybe that's about it. We were going to surprise Carl, and there's a great video that we took on the
He
stairs.
fell down in the stairwell. He
Yeah, he
really
did.
was.
Well, what
He
happened?
really was happy. He was. It wasn't a fake. That was not a fake.
No, he was
there is
actually-
video of this.
This is reason 182 why Carl was the real deal. So I didn't know how to get the surprise going, so I went down in the middle of the comedy. You were on stage because you're in the
I
background.
was running the fucking thing.
Yeah, you were in the background of this
I had
video.
no time for your shenanigans.
A job to do.
And
They
I go,
didn't tell me anything, by the way. They didn't tell me shit. You can hear me in the background babbling like a spider monkey.
Right.
but I go to Carl.
Get up on stage, monkey boy.
I go to Carl in the darkness, and I'll put a link to the video in the description of this episode.
Great video.
But most people have seen it.
Yeah.
So I go to Carl. I go, oh, Carl, we got a problem upstairs, because that was my way of getting him upstairs so he could get his surprise, and then we could all go down and enjoy the rest of Vic Henley's set. Is what my thought is. We weren't going to do it in the middle of the fucking club. We weren't going to do it in the middle of the club. Okay. See, I told you he was mean. Dick Cox with your Jameson, you son of a bitch.
What'd you do to Vic? God damn.
I'm already named Dick Cox. Why you got to go worse than that? Jeez.
So I go to Carl. We got a problem upstairs. That was my way to get him out of the room for a minute. Carl, without missing a beat, well, we got a problem, and was ready to just fucking fight.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't need a question. He didn't need any explanation. He knew that because I set it up like we got a problem. And he's like, "Let's go."
Sure.
And he's running out of what's the problem? What's the problem? And then, then the surprises come.
Didn't he say something to you like,
good.
you want me to go to the kitchen? Because he knew everybody in the kitchen would fight for him?
Maybe. He knew there.
Oh, there might have been. Yo, nice pull.
That's a good pull. That's
Nice pull, Dick Cox. Yeah.
Did he really say that? I got to listen to that again.
Might have been.
Oh, that's
Revisit that.
classic.
Like, you want me to go to the kitchen?
That's where the weapons are.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
They know me there.
Yeah, exactly.
What makes you cry? Judd Jones?
Animal stuff. Like, sometimes the animal stuff, that'll get me. Animal stuff.
That's why he couldn't watch Don't Fuck with Cats.
I tell you, and I understand, like when it shows the video where the guy, he have like the suction bag and he puts it, as soon as there was even a motion to do that, I turned it off. And I understand you don't see it and that it's a good documentary. I get that. But that was enough for me. I just can't even do that.
That was the fucking...
I mean, I say this at the same time, whereas last podcast I told you should have kicked the dog. Now, let's just to be totally fair.
The bruise is still there.
There's right and wrong in this world, dude. That's all I'm saying.
And I haven't seen that fucking dog since.
Well, fuck,
he
man.
changed his route.
That's
how
right.
pissed
That's
I was.
That's good.
It's funny you should say that, though, because Don't Fuck With Cats is a great documentary. That was the problem they had, because they had to show a little of that footage to get you into the documentary, because the rest of the thing is amazing.
But stuff with animals, it's funny, because... I mean, not like that corny shit, whatever, the Eyes of the Angel, all that bullshit. That's
not corny. That'll make me tear up every time.
It's so contrived. It's so contrived.
I know it is.
But abusing anything, abusing animals and like that kind of stuff, that stuff gets me.
The dog in a chain and it's snowing outside. Look, we all need a break every once in a while. It doesn't mean that the dog was being mistreated.
Well, maybe the film crew can get him a blanket.
Exactly.
Maybe they could do that. I mean, shit, goddamn.
Struthers.
Yeah.
Back in the day when she did
Help the child next to you, Sally.
You got a film crew there. Maybe they got a sandwich.
Right. Yeah, maybe. Somebody does.
The vulture's waiting on the child to scare off the fucking bird, you asshole.
Or eat the bird.
That photo.
Eat the bird.
Yeah.
The Ethiopian kid, I think. He can't be. I don't know how old he is because he's emaciated because he hasn't eaten.
Yeah.
And the vulture's in the picture
just
waiting.
for him to die.
Oh my! It won everything, and supposedly, help me out. Do you know? I think the photographer ended up killing himself. He couldn't take. He couldn't take the.
The death was suspected. They don't know for sure.
You mean suspicious?
What? Well, they.
Wait, whose death?
The photographer.
Yeah, but the photographer that took one of the most amazing pictures ever, the rumor is he just couldn't take what he saw that day.
No.
He won all sorts of awards and then
died.
The reason why they say digital is better now with these people is like because you can delete it.
Makes sense.
And it's gone. But with film, the actual looking through the image.
Or if you blew up these things and put them on a wall.
Well, and you got to wait for it to develop, so it's a whole thing. As you're in
the image showed in front of your eyes, it just scars you.
They'll get paid first, but then they'll delete.
Right.
Like, let's be honest. I mean,
The problem.
They'll get paid
Judd Jones
first,
coming to that.
but then they'll delete.
Bringing back the comedy. Judd Jones bringing back the comedy.
Yeah.
Got a little too emotional at
No,
Gebhards.
I was about to get serious.
Let's be honest.
The problem with a really horrific picture is the person who took it checks out a long time before the picture ever will.
And then, speaking of movies, Parasite is an amazing movie.
It's fucking amazing.
But my wife,
I almost won my Oscar pool. There's 35 categories that we were voting on.
Right.
And I missed 3.
Wait, out of 35, you missed 3.
I went.
You didn't get sound editing right.
Yes, I did.
Come on.
Did you nail sound editing? Wow.
I swear to God. I went 32 and 3. I went 32 and 3. Bethel, my friend's wife, she went 2. She went 33 and 2.
Wow.
And we were the only 2 that both picked Parasite.
So with Parasite, my wife won't see it because she hates scary shit.
It ain't scary. It's not scary at all.
Which is funny.
She married you?
It's
Nice. Yes.
Good night. Let's go eat chicken.
A 15-minute podcast. But Parasite is an amazing movie. But the last, come on, how many people haven't seen it? The last 5 minutes is okay. It's a little out of control, but the rest of the movie, the character development, the writing,
dude, it's Korean Fargo.
It's filmed beautifully.
Right.
So I want her to watch it.
Korean Fargo.
And then when it gets to the you know what, I will go, all right, and then I can explain the rest of the movie because almost at that point it doesn't matter. But the lead up to that is amazing. It's a great movie.
They're so white trash. It's so completely running around in the house.
Yeah.
It's so white trash.
God, I love
it doesn't matter what continent and what culture, it's such fucking hillbilly.
Right.
It's a fucking hillbilly.
It's Korean hillbilly
movie.
is what it is.
And then all of a sudden,
oh,
here
wow.
we go.
Wow.
And we didn't know this was going to happen.
No.
One of the best things I saw after they won the Oscar was like, to make this even more scary, the only thing that could have happened was if it was a North Korean movie.
Nice.
Dick Cox again.
Nice.
Coming in from the blue line.
He is coming
Dick
in.
Cox playing hockey.
I got ice in my drink. That's the only kind I like.
He's throwing people out from right field.
Well, he brought, that was my move.
This is... So my wife hates scary movies, but when
it's not a scary movie.
When we were first dating, when I was living up here on Columbus Avenue with the mice, the apartment that was infested with mice.
Right.
She came over, and I'm like, "Hey, man, you want to see The Shining?" She goes, "Yeah, man, that sounds great."
Oh.
So I didn't know her that well yet. I'm like, "Oh my God, this is the greatest movie!" And the opening scene, opening scene, I'm explaining they're going up the mountain with that creepy music, but it's daylight, and it's almost Hitchcocky, right? The beginning of that movie,
totally Hitchcocky.
Yeah,
and then
completely.
All of a sudden, I only learned this years later. I remember now that she kept getting up and like, "Oh, hey, you want another drink or whatever?" I think we were probably drinking wine. "Oh, hey, you want a snack?" And she's getting up a lot,
scoping out the room.
But I wasn't thinking at the time.
No, nervous.
And then she told me when she finally could have some real conversations, she's like, "I fucking hate scary movies," but she was so into me and us dating that she was sitting through this film that she would never sit through.
You seen Dr. Sleep?
No.
It's a sequel.
Is it good?
Well, you got to be Stephen King. You know.
I mean, Stephen King.
I don't agree with the man's politics, but I love his fucking films.
Get out!
Just want to jump in here for a second. Obviously, the wheels are off at Gebhards. Just want to remind you that we went to Gebhards to celebrate Vic Henley's new comedy CD or album or download, whatever the kids are calling it these days. It's called Hell is Real, and I want to give you a little taste of that right now. And then we'll get back to the action at Gebhards.
I get in the Outback Steakhouse. I sit down, and I'm with my mom. So I order Caesar salad, okay? And so here comes the waitress back, and she's just like the two girls from the wedding. She's 21, 22-year-old Alabama girl, and she looks at me straight up, and she goes, "The cook said to tell you that we're out of Caesar leaves." And my mom's already going, "Don't!" because she knows I'm going to pounce on this, right? I still managed to get out, "What?" even though I totally heard it, right? It was just so goddamn stupid, I wanted to hear it again. And she didn't let me down. She came right back with, "The cook said to tell you we're out of Caesar leaves." And I'm like, "Romaine?" And she goes, "I don't know. He just said to tell you we're out of Caesar leaves. Vote for Roy Moore." Those are my favorite ones because like SAT stands for Saturday. That's a joke I thought of, right? So I had to come down to the comedy club to work it out over 2. Most of the time, 90% of the time, that's how the joke works. You have an idea, you think about it, you go to the club, you work it out over 2 or 3 weeks, you figure out what to put in, what to take out, turns into a joke. But the other 10% of the time, you could just be sitting at the Outback Steakhouse with your mother, and the heavens open up and a moron flies in on a Pegasus unicorn of idiocy, and with a completely straight face says, "The cook said to tell you we're out of Caesar leaves."
So what makes you cry, Dick Cox?
All right, here we go.
Well,
You're
after
a tough-looking dude from the South.
After just shy of 14 years in the Corps and 4 tours in Iraq, there's actually one thing that makes me cry today, and thanks to y'all asked why I bring the bar with me. That's why, because
I don't mean to laugh. I'm
whatever
getting
makes you
uncomfortable.
dream in your brain,
Yeah.
I burnt that out in 29 Palms, California after my first 2 tours, because I had a buddy of mine, his name was Staff Sergeant May, and he saved my life one day before 9/11 even happened. Freaking, we had a guy that was an asshole gunnery sergeant, and he was treating me bad just because he could, and he got in my face one evening, and freaking I made the decision, like, okay, I don't care about Leavenworth. I don't care. I'm going to kill this motherfucker.
Wow.
So I went out to a buddy's house out in town, and he was holding my pistol for me, a Walter P99 9mm.
Beautiful. Sleek.
Composite gun, yeah.
Thank
Sweet
you.
gun. I grabbed that motherfucker,
I love
loaded
the
it up,
Texas reimbursement.
racked one in the fucking pipe, ejected the clip, put another one in it, so I had full load.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to empty this motherfucker into his face. I went to the fucking battalion because he was supposed to be on duty. And Staff Sergeant May was on duty. I said, hey, where's Gunny Thompson? He took off. I took it for him. And he just looked at my face and goes, what's wrong, Cox? And fucking, he talked to me. And I fucking admitted, it's like, I got a fucking 9mm out in the fucking truck right now. If I see this motherfucker, I'm going to kill him. He could have reported me right then, and I would have gone to Leavenworth. But he sat me down, talked me out of it, and said, take it fucking back to your buddies. You're good. 8 months later, he was in the tank Hermes that went off the river into the Euphrates.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
We didn't find him for 3 days.
Wow.
You were talking about floater. Well, Sherrod was, but they brought him up. They told me, because we were so desperate for supplies that much in the invasion in 03, that we were at, like, any vehicle that was hit, we were fucking stripping blind and fucking taking the equipment back.
Wow.
Hermes was brought up from the river, and they told me, yeah, they got everybody out. I showed up to the tank to pull the optics equipment because it survived. The military equipment survives more than the crew will. Stuff that's designed to kill the crew, the military equipment will survive. So they brought the tank up, and they told me to pull the sights to use on another tank. Mm-hmm. They told me they were out of the tank. They weren't. They opened up the hatches and brought them out. So I saw what water in 3 days
Wow.
would do to them.
Man.
I came home, and for a year, 365 straight, I drank myself into a coma to go to bed every night so I wouldn't see that.
Yeah.
And it was just fucking, I started with beer, ran to hard liquor, and this is what I was telling you, Vic, before. My peak,
Now you're sending me brass jars.
well, my peak level was I was drinking 3 bottles of Johnny Walker Blue Scotch a
Which
week.
ain't a good Scotch.
No. But that's what I was up to. I should have been a cocaine addict. It would have been cheaper. But, so I closed down a bar in 29 Palms, California one night, climbed on my bike, blacked out. I woke up and I heard water. And I was like, oh shit, because if you hear water in the fucking desert, high desert of California, that's a flash flood. I didn't know where the hell I was. I sat up, looked out, I was in Malibu. I rode from the high desert of California, 200 miles to Malibu, California, and don't remember any of it.
Oh, my God.
And I had a Sportster at the time, which only had a 120-mile tank. So I had to gas up somewhere between there. I got no record of the transaction, no charge. I don't remember any of it. And so I sat up on that freaking table, looked around. I called my boss, told him I'm being late. And I stopped drinking 365 from that day. I didn't touch a drop.
Wow.
But what I found out in that damn time was I don't dream anymore.
Yeah.
I burnt it out. Like everybody says, you got any nightmares? No, I don't dream.
Well, that's bad, don't Dick.
Well, I know.
Well, it's kind of a, actually, it's kind of a
it fucked
blessing
me
in
up.
disguise, though. a
No,
little
I
bit.
understand the first part of it.
Yeah.
It fucked me up, but the thing about it is that up until that point, everything was like, when I thought about that, that's what I would wake up with was just tears.
Right.
Just bawling my eyes out and everything. And I went to a PTSD clinic in Salisbury, North Carolina at the VA clinic up there for 3 months while my freaking ex served me with papers while I was in the clinic.
What?
Well, yeah.
Oh,
but
God.
Man.
that was the last tear I shed to the date, was talking about it in group. That.
I love these peach beers.
Sorry to bring it down.
Well,
y'all
I
ass.
I like these peach
I was gonna
beers,
say,
but I'm really
I have
happy.
never felt so much like a pussy. You asked me what makes me cry. I said animals.
But hey,
Real man shit.
I like
All right,
it.
Dick Cox. We're gonna
I like
toast
it.
with Dick Cox here.
He was a
boy.
good studio director.
That's right.
He was
All
a
right,
good studio
grab a glass,
director.
Vic. Grab a
Cheers.
glass.
Cheers to Dick Cox.
I like to
Toast
raise
it up,
glasses
boy.
up tonight to
That's
Carl.
right, boy.
To Carl.
Absolutely.
Goddamn,
Goddamn right.
Carl.
goddamn the Cuban.
Wow. Okay. That was awkward.
It's coming from a guy named Dick Cox.
But that was real. But it was real, man.
I
It
think
was
I
real.
fixed it. I think I fixed it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
fixed a
did.
little bit. That's real life
was
right there,
trying
my
to.
friends. That's real life, though, man.
Well,
I
gotta
can't.
go do
I'll be
comedy.
totally honest with you. I can't do what you did.
No.
Fuck no, man. I don't. I mean, I bow to people like you.
Well, fuck, I don't.
Right?
Need,
Being in the military and fucking seeing some shit. Well, how about this, Dick Cox? For now on, you don't have to bring all this.
I know.
You're
Stop
one.
it.
You're one of
Yeah.
our guys now.
I know.
I mean, you brought a full bar to Gebhards. We were talking about that in the last episode. Matt's
you
like,
need to understand-
what the
I'm
fuck?
canceling
I'm like,
my
it's
show.
Dick Cox. You gotta
I'm
let him.
canceling my show.
Yeah, you gotta
gonna
let.
cancel my
You
show.
gotta
Oh, for
let.
tonight, you're gonna
I am.
cancel
I'm
your
gonna
show.
You're,
cancel
you're canceling your show.
The
You
phone's
can't-
behind you.
why are you canceling your
Because
show?
I'm fucking too drunk.
I'm
You're too drunk.
Stupid.
I'm fucking him up.
It's stupid.
I
Why?
don't want to be on stage drunk.
Dick is fucking
All right.
Dick up.
Well, don't blame me.
No,
Bring Dick.
I was trying to end this. Remember, I was trying to end this. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'll sit in here and talk to you for another hour.
Oh, sure.
I know you will.
But
You're canceling your show today.
I'm going to have to call.
I feel bad now because this was supposed to be a quickie.
I'm already thinking of
Sherrod
my
left.
He doesn't care.
and-
He doesn't
I
care.
think I'm just going to have to tell the truth. And I'm going to kill myself.
That's the next thing. That's the next thing.
I really am.
It's like Billy Jardell.
What?
It's like,
No, I started reading books yesterday.
yeah.
I'm going all the way back to literature.
Yeah, exactly. The printed page.
Thank you, Dick Cox.
Yes, sir.
That's right. Yeah.
That's what. No.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
That makes me not have to want to talk to you, motherfucker.
But you wanted to do this. You're so confusing.
I am. You're right.
You're so confusing.
No, I am. You're right.
But
you're totally right.
Like he's
But
so.
I'm not a dick.
He wants
I
to
am
be.
not an
Just
asshole.
blame it on
He
Dick
is-
Cox.
no,
Dick
Dick's
Cox
not a
is the
dick.
reason this is happening.
No.
Well, yeah.
I'm just saying.
Let's reset. There's a bottle of Jameson.
I know.
There's the Son of Peach beer. Then he's got a. Oh my God! You got a whole cooler of the.
You got more ice over there,
All right.
Dick
We
Cox?
played 4 hours of Soul
I'll
before
tell
you
you what,
started.
I might.
And then we got
You're-
the wild
you're leaving
turkey.
out the part.
Ooh.
We played Sam and Dave. We played Cab Calloway. We played 4 hours of Soul before you.
Uh-oh.
What are you talking about?
You're dropping shit, not me.
That was Dick Cox
that was
dropped
me.
the beer on my
No,
foot.
we played 4 hours of Soul before we
Jesus,
started
this is
this.
beautiful.
What? You guys were hanging out before
Yes.
this? Oh, I didn't know that. Where were you guys?
What?
Here playing 4 hours of Soul.
Yeah.
Here.
Right here.
Yep.
Sherrod.
Yep. You missed it?
He's got kids.
Oh, that's true.
Sherrod got here 2 minutes before I did.
I'm just. Look,
It was a
Trust me.
wormhole.
Trust me on this, okay?
Morgan Freeman was talking.
This is amazing. Judd, what's up?
I tell you, I've enjoyed hanging out with Dick Cox here. Can I just say this? I've enjoyed hanging out with Dick Cox.
Yeah.
Dick Cox is a funny dude. He'll chime in out of the blue.
He's got knowledge, though.
He's got knowledge.
A lot of
I tell you what,
knowledge.
here, I'm going to tell you this quick story, Dave.
Okay. Stop
And
patting
since
me.
since you mi-
There was too much patting, I think.
happy.
A pat is just like that.
Vic and Opie are
Maybe 3 or
groping each
4.
other. over
Yeah.
here.
Don't quash my happiness.
You got a bacon shirt on. That won't happen.
I'm all right. I'm done.
No, I like it.
No.
No, I like it.
What are you talking
No,
about?
I like it. I liked it. I like it.
No.
All right. All right, go ahead, Judd.
No. What I was
come back. He'll come
I'm going to tell you this quick story because you mentioned Carl and we made a toast for Carl, and you're a big guy like me,
Right.
so you'll appreciate this quick story here. I used to work in the maritime shipping industry in Houston before I moved to New York, like 4 years ago, right? Like I was scheduling crude oil tankers and all this. I'd have to go out to the ships and all this stuff, whatever. So one of the last jobs I had before I moved here, I worked in like this global operations office, and I had to go down to Sao Paulo, Brazil,
Right.
to train these people down there.
Yeah.
And let me just say the reason that Carl loved this story because it involves food.
Yeah.
All right. So so I had to go down there and train these guys, right, on our computer system. I had 48 hours in Sao Paulo. So the first day I go and I train these guys, we do all that, and then we have a whole dinner we go to, and then they give me the speech about the kidnapping protocol, right? You know, when you're in Brazil, you be a real white guy with bald head, you might get you know, they give me all that. So I've got...
Oh, you're pretty.
That's right. They're looking for me. He got money. Right. So the second day, I go to sleep. Next morning, I'm leaving at 9 o'clock that night. I'm going to go see something in Sao Paulo. So I look on TripAdvisor. What is it in Sao Paulo? The number one thing is the Mercado Municipal.
Right.
It's a big white building with stained glass, and they sell fish and beef and clothes, and it's like a big old market inside this place with a restaurant. And everybody on TripAdvisor is talking about the thing to do at this place is eat the mortadella sandwich. Right. So mortadella sandwich is like bologna. It's like if bologna was barbecue sausage.
Yes.
It's
nice.
so it's juicy and just what. So if like barbecue sausage was cut like bologna, real thin, it's on a bun that's like hollowed out on the inside, crispy on the outside, cheese out of it, whatever. I'm like, I'm gonna go get the mortadella sandwich. That's what I'm gonna do because everyone's talking about this. I do know that when you get to Sao Paulo,
Brazil.
Brazil.
So you have to say it that way.
When,
Brazil. Yeah, no, you really
when
have
I
to.
was there, this was like maybe 8 years ago.
Right.
When you come out of the
No,
airport,
he gave me liquor.
I'm snorting.
Sorry. He gave me liquor.
Try not to give him liquor.
No, it's my
Dick
fault.
Cox.
It's totally my fault. I'm canceling my spot later.
I know you said that.
All right,
he's got a
go ahead.
copper cup and
Southerner, I got
Jameson.
it.
I mean,
I'm
it's all
canceling
right
my
in front of
spot.
him. I mean, you know.
Stop giving me liquor, Dick Cox.
Yeah, it's Dick's fault.
Don't listen to him, Dick. Keep it going.
Right.
Hit the gas.
All right, go ahead.
So fast forward to the second day. I'm going to go do some, touristy thing on the last day. Mortadella sandwich at the Mercado.
Right.
That's what I'm going to go do.
Okay.
So I get the cab, go over there, and we finally get there, and we make a turn, and like, it's all these people walking in the streets. Just, it's commerce going on. There's people carrying televisions. There's somebody selling something out of a box here, and it's just like chaos, right?
This week called 138th Street in the Bronx.
Same difference. That's right. A disorganized market, but there's commerce happening. There's
138
commerce.
Lexington. Right. All right, sorry. Back to you.
Use surgical tools, half price.
People are making money. Things are happening. And just tons of people, right? So we make this turn, and you can't drive through there because there's so many people.
Right.
And so he tells me I can get out here. Well, 2 blocks away, there's the Mercado, the white building and the stained glass. I see it. All right, fine. I'm going to walk over there, right? So I get out of the car, and so all these people. So I go on the left side of the road, and cars parked on both sides, people in the street, no cars are driving through, people everywhere, little shops on every corner, So I start walking. Now, picture, I'm in a country of brown people,
right?
And I'm about as white as you can get, bald-headed, 6 foot, too fat. So I go walking because I'm going to go to the Mercado, and there's all these, people selling stuff, and they're coming up to me, and the little dude selling the chicle gum, he's like, hey, and I'm like, I'm okay, right? So I get up to like 1 block away from the Mercado, and I look, and I'm one of these people, like, just from my childhood, like, I'm always trying to think of my surroundings, right? I'm just always on that because there's so many people around here, and so I look, I'm going toward the intersection, and all of a sudden I see everybody in this intersection look around the corner and run the opposite direction. God. So I'm like, okay, that's something, that's significant. So
NYPD?
I'm like, I'm like, fuck, man.
Nice.
I'm way too far away from the hotel. I don't know where I'm at. I know that's the Mercado. So I just kind of stand up against the wall, right? Just kind of see what transpires, And fucking me and little chicle dude are right there, and there's another dude selling umbrellas because it started raining, right? And so I'm looking in the intersection, and I see this woman, she runs, and she starts talking to this dude, and she points to the direction everyone's looking, and she makes a stabbing motion in the air. And I'm like, okay, somebody's stabbing a motherfucker over there. I figured that much out already, so I'm just going to sit here. It's a knife. Okay, fair enough,
Thank you, charades.
I'm sure
I'm like, it's, there's a, that's...
This is like Ellen's game night.
So I say, the woman, she makes
for the first time. You've done this
she makes the stabbing motion. So I'm like, okay, something's going around the corner. So I'm like, me, Chicle boy, we're up against the wall. He's still trying to sell stuff, you know? So I'm like kind of looking like, see what's going on.
Right.
All of a sudden, trucks of the federal police show up.
Wow.
They pull in. There's 4 trucks. They're all with machine guns in the back. And I'm like, okay, this is not South Texas. This is a little different. Okay, so I'm still standing up against the wall. They jump out. They section off an area in the intersection. They block it off, and everyone's kind of looking, but everyone's kind of apprehensive, and they're looking. Right. And they block it off, and all of a sudden I see 2 dudes right there, and they're looking around the corner. I can't see what they're looking at. They bring up their guns, and you hear, "Prat, prat."
Oh, God.
Everyone around me, we hit the ground. We hit the ground. Everybody hits the ground. Me and Chicle boy are on the ground behind a car.
Right.
I got my fucking jack-off dress shirt on. It's all muddy because it started raining and stuff, right?
Right.
I'm on the ground. My heart's pumping. This isn't my normal shit. Like, I don't, what's going on? So you hear that. It was just like a quick 2 bursts. Right?
Right.
And everyone's screaming and shit. We hit the ground. And so I'm just kind of like tucked underneath the car, and I look and I see some people are starting to kind of walk around like normal again. And I'm like, well, okay, so I kind of stand up. And I see that, like, the cops have, like, cordoned it off, and they're around there. Everyone kind of starts getting back to doing what they're doing, and I'm like, what the fuck, And I look, and that dude is fucking dead in the street.
Yep.
There's a knife next to him, right? He's in a crumpled up, blood, the whole fucking thing right there. And the next step, since you'll appreciate this, is a big guy. I'm like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I fucking look up at the Mercado. And I'm like, I'm going to step over this dead motherfucker. And I'm going to go to get the mortadella sandwich at the Mercado. That's what I'm going to do. I got to live my life, dude. And I went over there. I got the mortadella sandwich. It's cheese and greasy. I got fried plantains. I got like 3 caprianas. I'm sitting there. That's a Brazilian drink. Having the great fucking time ever, dude. And got a cab and went back. So that was my...
You got to go on Yelp.
You'd appreciate that.
That's how amazing that sandwich is.
You'd appreciate that story. Yeah.
Right?
No, I'm going to it. I'm going to the mortadella sandwich.
Greg Hughes is right. This is the best Yelp review ever.
Exactly.
Because I was ready to say, how bad do you want this sandwich?
Absolutely.
There were many times in that story.
Stepped over that dead motherfucker. Went to the mortadella sandwich.
Here's how bad I wanted this.
Wow.
That's it. Carl loved that story.
Yeah, but Vic will know this.
Carl did love that story.
I was just going to say, Vic, because you probably know this for the Carter era was
Jimmy Carter?
80 miles away. 80 miles away from
Dick.
Sao Paulo, there's a town called
How old are you?
Americana.
The town in Brazil?
What? Yeah, but it's the bastion where all the Confederates that fled after the surrender.
Oh, shit.
They
really?
went down there.
Yeah, right.
So you'll go down there and you'll see a hot-looking Brazilian chick, and you'll expect Portuguese, and she goes, "How y'all doing? Y'all want some grits?"
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's a Confederate bastion.
Boy, between
Brazil.
Jimmy Carter went down there. They have a monument with the Confederate battle flag, what they call the Stars and Bars. It's not the true Stars and Bars, but there's the Confederate battle flag, and that's there in the town, and he christened the monument for him
No kidding.
as the American president.
Well, between them and the Nazis, they're tearing it up down in Brazil. Huh?
Hell yeah.
Shit.
I thought the Nazis were in Argentina.
Oh, the Argentina. That's
Well,
right.
they
You're
spread
right. You're
out.
right.
They went all over.
Is
Argentina.
that true, you think?
Yeah.
A lot of
Completely
Nazis went to
true.
Argentina?
Fucking Mengele was there,
Have
dude.
you not
I
seen
mean,
The Boys from Brazil?
Yeah.
One of the greatest
A million
movies.
years ago.
Gregory Peck.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, sir.
And Laurence Olivier. Gregory Peck and Laurence Olivier.
I personally
The
think-
Boys from Brazil.
Why are you holding your mic like a crooner?
Because you told me to. You told me I was too
We got
loud.
Dick Hames, everybody.
Well,
How
you
are you,
told me-
Dick?
Hames.
You told me I was too loud.
You're
And you
holding
Dick
it like
Hames.
he's holding like a crooner.
That's funny.
I'm Frank Sinatra, motherfucker.
Not Dick Hames.
I'm goddamn Tony Bennett.
Summer wind came rolling.
Don't sing. That's my favorite one. That is my favorite one. That's my favorite one. You're gonna make me cry now.
Dick Hames.
Oh,
You're gonna make me
Oh
cry.
boy.
Everybody's got their tears story.
Oh, that's the music.
What's the
right
one
there.
about? It's been a great year. It's
It was a good year.
Very good year.
Very good year. Yeah.
my.
Summer Wind is my favorite
Wait,
one.
we'll get back on
Well,
right.
because that goes back to the Pope of Greenwich Village. And if you ain't seen the Pope of Greenwich Village,
Mickey
They
Rourke.
took my dog, Charlie.
that you know what your problem was? You never hit her.
Julia Roberts' brother. They took my dog, Charlie. know some movie lines.
Chaluch.
Chaluch.
We're gonna have a couple of, like gentlemen.
Right.
I had you figured. I had you figured at the beginning because he's fucked him on the deal. He's fucked him on the deal, and he's like $10 versus $5, and he's like, "I had you figured, Charlie.
I had you figured.
Chaluch." And he pulled his fucking bottle of cognac, and he goes, "Listen, like gentlemen." You know your problem, Charlie? You never hit her. Yeah. You never hit her. I'm not saying smack her around like a maniac.
Wow, you know this shit.
I know this.
That's
fucking
a great movie.
It's one of my favorite.
I haven't seen the movie in 25 years.
I'm not saying, but I'm like, ba-boom. Will you tell her you get your coat and you don't say goodnight to nobody? That's the part that makes them quiet, Charlie. You don't tell them. You don't say goodnight to nobody. It's the fucking greatest. Oh my God!
So speaking of crooners,
All right, I'm done.
All right.
no, it's
I'm not talking anymore.
No.
He's trying to turn the mic off.
Got the Carl story.
did you-
Carl story.
We're doing
Carl
this
story.
podcast because of you. We're doing the Wheels Off podcast because of you.
Carl story.
Oh, no, wait, I got one thing. Speaking of crooners, and it was a very good year is the name of the song, right? So everyone moves out of my parents' house, 7, 8, 9 kids. Now it's my dad with my mom that is, pretty much sleeping most of her life away. And I would pull in to check on my dad, and he would be in his lounge chair. He had an amazing record collection, all crooners. He missed the Beatles by like a couple of years.
Ooh.
He would be 90 if he was still alive, which is insane to think. And he would sit and listen to it. It was a very good year. And you want to talk about fucking balling, watching your dad, knowing that he did a good job with his kids. He tried to keep his wife sane and all that. And all he wants to do is listen to his Frank Sinatra records.
Right.
Yeah.
And I would surprise him every once in a while. He'd just be sitting in that chair. It was a very good year. And that song,
I like it.
and when I first started dating my wife, again, going back to that,
Yep.
I think that was the first time I ever cried in front of my wife because I think she had a Frank Sinatra tape, which I thought was fucking cool because she's younger than me.
Wow.
And we were driving back from Philly to New York, and we had this Sinatra tape in the car. That song came
The
on.
Summer Wind.
That's when I knew she loved me because that song came on. I'm like, oh, this is a song I fucking. We're getting close to the tunnel,
Right.
I just bawled the Lincoln Tunnel, and we're stuck in traffic, and
Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rourke.
Yep.
Mickey Rourke pulling up those socks on the summer wind.
Oh God.
At the
right,
beginning.
right,
At the
right.
beginning.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'm just
Well,
I didn't even I'm hillbilly. I didn't know I was New York.
Right.
Vic, you know.
And yet I'd never felt more New York.
Right.
I met the fucking Sally brothers who were 2 firemen. Their dad died.
Right.
They're all but when I started doing
Blow me! Coronavirus. Fuck.
Wow. Damn, dude.
I've got bubonic plague.
Sorry.
No, that's all right.
But
When I met the boys, when I met the Sally boys, I mean, they're fucking firefighters, and we wanted to be New York for some goddamn reason. I don't know why. Godfather, something weird.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know, but we like you got me on the FDR with commercial plate.
Yeah.
You got to get that joke. You know how fucking obscure you got to go to get that fucking joke?
the farm.
I'm not even going to explain it. Dick Cox has a girly laugh. I love it.
No,
Should we point it out?
You know what my road name? You know what my road name is
big,
with the
scary
club I
dude.
ride with? It's Joker.
Joker.
Yeah, because my laugh.
People hated the Joker.
I know.
I
People
love
hate
it.
me.
Because
You're right.
No. Love it.
People hate me.
Yeah.
I want one Carl story from Vic,
Okay.
and then we could go get fried chicken.
Well, hang on. I got a music thing for you.
All right,
For me?
come on.
Yeah, or just I think all y'all
right,
appreciate
he
it.
said-
You think
No,
about
I'll give him.
you
Because I don't.
you think
I'm
about
out
a
of
Carl
Carl.
story.
I'm
whatever.
kind of out
Hey,
of Carl stories.
86th Street escalator. Oh, that's pretty funny.
Okay.
I remember that. Okay, yeah.
Oh, you're giving him a little.
Yeah,
Okay.
he prompted me. That
All right,
was
that's good. All right,
that
that's
was
good.
good. Right?
All right,
That's
we'll end
what
with
came
that.
to my head. So I was listening yesterday to Good Hearted Woman.
Yep.
Waylon Jennings, Willie Nelson.
Of course.
Okay?
Absolutely.
It's standard in my phone. I hear it all the time. So all of a sudden, I'm like, I'm gonna look this up. Who wrote it? Did both of them write it, or I was just
No,
curious.
neither one of them did.
No.
Waylon Jennings and Willie Nelson wrote it because they were in a hotel in Fort Worth in 1969 or 70.
Ooh, here we go.
And they saw an advertisement for Ike and Tina Turner, and they started talking about like Tina's problems with Ike.
Right.
Good-Hearted Woman
Really?
is based.
You're not.
Let me
saying
just
this.
read you these lyrics.
You're really.
Think about it this way
if
now.
you're telling me this.
This is true.
I'm gonna have an orgasm.
Good-Hearted Woman.
You're gonna give me a fucking rock and roll orgasm?
Well,
really?
point the
You
other
pile of
direction.
Shit. You're
Point the other
fucking
direction.
telling me this.
It's hard to stump him.
That's what I'm saying. I'm mad. I'm
You're
really
mad right now. You're not
I'm
happy.
super angry.
I was thrilled to find this out.
All right, let me hear this.
I've heard
I
this
don't
song
believe
1,000 times.
I still think you're lying.
Waylon Jennings and Willie Nelson were staying in a
way.
hotel. There's an
No
advertisement
fucking
All right,
way.
wait, let me hear
about
this. Let me hear this.
Ike and
Then you
Tina Turner
orgasm.
were performing.
Right.
And Waylon started writing some lyrics about a song about Tina Turner. And he tells Willie, and they finish writing the song
my
together
God.
with Willie's wife at the time. Okay?
Jesse Coulter.
No, it was a different one. It was somebody else. I forget her name. But I think it was before her. It was 69. So they wrote Good-Hearted Woman, which is a standard
It's
in
about
country
Ike and
music.
Tina.
Right.
You're really saying this now.
This is about
out loud.
Tina
And I
what,
don't know this.
what Tina was having to deal with. So Good-Hearted Woman, Waylon Jennings, Willie Nelson, the lyrics, I'll briefly go
I'm
through.
going home.
No, listen to this.
Really.
Keep your ears
Really,
open.
I'm
Listen to
going home.
this.
All right,
I'm
let's
fucking
go.
going home.
Oh, my God.
I swear to God, I'm fucking
I was
going
so
home.
happy to hear this. This is Willie Nelson and Waylon Jennings writing a song about Tina Turner and her life with Ike Turner.
Oh, God.
A long time forgotten, the dreams that just never fell by the way. A good life he promised ain't what she's living today. But she never complains of the bad times and the bad things
I know
she's
the
done.
goddamn words of Good-Hearted Woman.
But she talks about the good times they've had and all the good times to come. And then they go into the chorus or whatever. She's a good-hearted woman in love with a good-timing man. She loves him in spite of his ways. She don't understand. Through teardrops and laughter, they'll pass through this world hand in hand. Good-hearted woman in love with a good-hearted man. This is Ike versus Tina.
Okay.
Tina's life.
I got you.
But where does it say he hits like a bitch?
Maybe it's in the second verse.
Nice,
He likes the bright
nice.
lights and the nightlife and the
All
good
right.
time and friends.
I'm really upset and I need chicken.
This is about Tina Turner and Ike
I
Turner.
got you.
Good-hearted
but I don't
woman.
believe it. I
Wow.
It blew my
don't-
mind.
I got it, but
Look
I
it
don't
up.
believe it.
Blew my mind.
I'm with you.
I couldn't even
totally
believe it.
upset.
All right, the Carl story. That
Oh, back to Carl. All right.
Well,
or you have the story.
he was telling us. Yeah. You want me to tell it?
Tell it.
Well, I don't. It's not even like a very long story, but Carl, in the last few months of his life, hanging out with him more. He's living with Vic, and
yeah,
in and
people
out.
should know that Judd Jones at the end of Carl's life was hanging out with him a lot as
Hanging out
well.
last like 2 years.
You told a great story at the
Yeah.
memorial here.
About
The
him
casino.
being drunk at the casino
Oh
with
my
that angry
God.
woman.
Go back and listen to
God.
that.
Chasing his
Go back
ass.
and listen to that.
Oh, that was good. That was good. Yeah.
Just showed up
but
out of
just-
nowhere.
Carl told us, he's hitting the gas in everything in life at that point, you know, for the good or for the bad. And Carl, as Vic has said, Carl had all sorts of chicks on the Upper East Side in the general vicinity, blah, blah, blah. Apparently, he was with one of these women at the 86th Street subway station on 2nd Avenue, the Q line, long escalators, late at night. They were going from up on East Side down to the chick's house or whatever. And Carl was talking about they were on the escalator. Nobody was around. He's standing behind the chick, and they fucked on the escalator.
On that long escalator.
The long escalator at 86th and 2nd.
I believe
going
it.
Like
down.
a double down.
I
It's
believe
one.
it.
No, it's one, and then another.
And there's
one
two of
down.
them, right? And when he tells, if
So he
if
had
just a
to
random
move her.
friend told you
Right.
this, you'd be like, bullshit, dude.
Right.
But when Carl tells you this, there's no reason to think he's not telling the truth.
Right.
My
At all. At all.
My favorite thing about Carl, I've told this in the past, but it's been a while, so I'll tell it again. So,
Right.
Family man with kids, and it's also Carl, one of my best friends. Saturday, Sunday mornings, I would announce to my family, "Oh, hey, Carl's checking in." My wife would be like, "Oh, what does he have to say?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, nothing!"
Never mind.
And I would throw my phone.
Yeah, it's not him.
The shit he would send us.
Sure. Sure.
She's like, "But what? You said he wants a podcast today, I think. I don't know."
Oh, did Carl send a picture? Let me see.
Oh, it fell into disposal. That's the third
honestly, my wife would be cool with that, but I was just like, holy shit!
All
When
right.
did he have time to do this?
The man was loved.
Yeah.
The man was
well,
loved.
for
Across the
sure.
board.
That's
Yeah.
easy. That's,
But love, hate.
That's certainly.
He was loved.
No.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
God damn it.
I wish as
Dick
many
Cox.
people liked him as this motherfucker.
Not the first time.
See,
that's
I
been
told
said.
you we get
See,
mean.
I'm going to get me.
It's happening.
It's happening in front of our eyes. He
happening.
can't help himself.
It's an old
right.
joke. It's an old
Keep
joke.
drinking. Let's see where it
No,
goes.
It's an old joke. It's an old joke. It's an old
Why
joke.
not?
I'm
yeah,
stick
it's-
with my old joke.
It's so much fun.
It's an old
But actually, a funny thing, going back to your
Yeah.
Navy thing,
you know I care.
I know you do, man.
you know when I before I went in the service,
Why?
We good.
you know the James
I gotta go
Defense
do fucking
books,
comedy.
like Tom Clancy was a big proponent of them with his writing
Yeah,
and
right,
everything.
right.
They've got these big, massive books called James Defense that have all the military from this one year. Everything. I used to collect them when I was young. Like I was such a nerd. Like I would go in and kids would be reading comic books. So like, well, do you know the powers of the Silver Surfer? It's like, no, but I know how much thrust an F-15 Eagle has.
Yeah, right. Real shit.
Exactly.
Right.
But the problem was that I
That
had
was impressive.
I know Delta,
Right.
Tango.
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
All the
right. But I had
Fuck
all
you,
this shit.
Silver Surfer.
I had all this Navy shit memorized,
You go, Goose.
and I was swear to like when I go in the military,
Almost
I'm going to join the Navy. That was my big plan.
Oh, yeah?
So when it finally happened, I flunked out of college. I was going like, all right, I'm going into the military. So I went to the recruiter. I'm walking toward the Navy recruiter. Halfway to the recruiter's desk, some guy on recruiter's assistants answers the phone and says, Seaman so-and-so. I'm like, nope.
You don't want to be called Seaman.
Did my
You
first
didn't want to
official
be called
call-
Seaman. He didn't like that.
Why not?
He didn't like that at all.
I had visions in my head of the
Yeah.
admiral and the captain of
Right,
the carrier
right.
on the flag bridge going, call him again.
Yeah,
call him
say it again.
Would Seaman Dick Cox please report?
That's it. You're done. You're done. No, you're done. That's it.
I'm going to
that's
the
your
Air
entire
Force office.
military. No, that's your
That's
entire
right.
military career.
I'm going to the Marines.
It's like, I'd rather kill people.
Right. I'm going to do that instead.
Yeah.
Well, I
Instead of being
say,
Seaman Dick Cox.
I say we go get fried chicken,
Let's
right?
go get fried chicken.
All right.
Dick Cox, you're loved, brother. You know
Tell you
that.
what, man,
It's
I
the only
enjoyed
reason we
hanging out with
stayed.
you, boy.
You all
Yeah,
just
we
stayed.
Thanks for bringing
Right?
all the booze and
Yeah.
everything. You got a whole.
Yeah, I don't know how.
You did take a picture of all this, didn't
Oh
you?
my God, did I?
I mean, he's got a cooler, multiple booze,
And we've-
an 18
No,
pack of
don't
beer.
take it. No, make them. Radio is a vision of your mind.
I told you, he's such an asshole. I was trying to avoid this. He's the most sarcastic son of a bitch ever. Look at me. What?
You know, when my ex was pissed when I went to Opie's show, everything,
What's up,
she
Opie?
said, well, you got a face for radio, so it fits.
That's all.
Oh,
Works
wow,
for
that's
you,
real
works for you.
nice.
Yeah, thanks.
But it's been good hanging out with you, boy.
Yeah,
man. It's
yeah,
good
it's
meeting you,
been
man.
y'all.
It's a good time.
Cheers to Dick Cox.
To
All
Carl.
right, I'm canceling.
Carl, all
I was.
right.
I didn't even
Canceling
want to.
my spot.
I'll be honest. I didn't even want to podcast him, but Dick Cox is in town. I'm like,
It's a good call,
he
dude.
gets people
Good
together,
call.
man.
Good call.
All right.
For sure.
So I got to tell the girls I'm a hard pull.
We'll see you next time you get to New York,
Yes,
right?
sir.
All right. And Vic Henley's got an album out, or very
Hell
soon.
is real.
And I've heard those jokes opening for him. Great
They're
stuff,
pretty good
man.
jokes.
Good
I'll
stuff,
stand
man.
by.
I'm
Makes
proud
the
of you,
people
brother.
happy.
I'll
It's
stand
good
by.
stuff. Yeah.
I'll
I'll say
said
this:
that.
it's about fucking
I
time.
know it's been 8 years.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I remember on the old radio show, I got one CD out. It's called Lose Cruise.
Yeah, no, I got two.
Oh, you got two. Okay. And I'm like,
all right.
get some more shit out there.
Well,
You're too funny
I'm
not to.
prolific.
No, you're Southern. That's the normal rate for Southerners.
Right. All right. And thanks to Matt and the gang at Gebhards. For
Right.
real.
For sure.
Come by and get the Carl. It's on the menu now, which is awesome. It's a
Yep.
beer and a shot. It's a shot of Jim Beam and,
And a old Rasputin.
and old Rasputin. Right? All right. And Judd, you're good?
I'm good, man. JuddJones.com, comic strip, and my new podcast at some point. I got one out already, The Diary of Judd Jones.
All right.
So hopefully it's going to be on more. I'm just going to document stuff in my life and what's going on because I have a hard time remembering.
He's already
shit.
going way too long.
Huh?
He's already went way too long.
Yeah.
Hey, look at this.
I tapped
This is
out.
what you're talking about.
I tapped out.
This is what you're talking about.
Well, you're drinking liquid amnesia, so that
That's
doesn't help
right.
him.
None of us are going to dream tonight.
I I
Dick
think,
Cox curse.
I think that not dreaming thing is kind of cool.
I'm with it.
My wife and my kids, they wake up and they tell me all their dreams, and I'm like,
Got nothing.
I was dreaming that the record was like fading out, and I didn't have the next record ready
to play it right.
That's
It's like
all
the
I have
homework
in my
dream.
dreams,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And they're flying through the Himalayas and with unicorns and stuff. I'm like,
Put the Beatles on the record.
I don't know. The
Put
Allman
the
Brothers
Beatles on the
record was
record.
fading out, and I couldn't find the next record, and I was gonna have dead air.
No, Opie, I know you gently touch your wife on the shoulder and go, I live mine.
What happened?
I don't know. He lost you.
No, I said,
I lost. I'm
you don't
lost.
have dreams, you live yours.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Dick Cox, you were like 7 for 8.
Right? No, that
Funny
was nice.
dude.
Stop.
Funny dude.
Quit.
Funny
Should've
dude.
quit one early.
Funny
Yep.
dude.
That was
Funny
nice,
dude.
though.
Story of my
That's
life.
really sweet. No.
That was nice.
That's really sweet. No.
I think that's how we end, with something nice.
All right.
All that peach beer's gone.
H beer.
Gone.
Cheers.
Well, the fuck it. Cheers. I don't know how long that was.
Boo, 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 boo. Boo, 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 boo. Boom, 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 boom. Boo, 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 boo. Boo, 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 boo.